Equipment we used was, it was quite cool actually, because we used a variety of stuff, and it was, I've upgraded my setup now, but it was my general shooting rig that I've shot the first Ray of Light on, that I shot of Shark and Man on, all my commercial work. So we had two Canon 7Ds running. We also had, I think it was, the most GoPros, I think it was about 7 at one point. GoPro 3s, GoPro 3 Pluses, and a GoPro 2 in there as well, I think. And we would have them mounted on people, we would have them mounted on the boat. Most of it was all shot 7D. The underwater stuff was 7D in a Nauticam underwater housing with 2 solar 1200 lights. We captured sound on a small Zoom H1, which is a brilliant little piece of kit. Some really cheap lav mics. We had the Redhead windshields for the Zoom, and a couple of Rode directional video mics for sound as well. And I think that was it. We used as well a small portable crane for one shot. So one shot in there, which I really like. I love the shot. It's Chris Reddle. He walks into El Delta, and the crane comes up and shows his beautiful sunrise. And yeah, so we used the crane for one shot, and that was it. I think that was all the equipment we used. Favorite piece of equipment on the shoot, probably split between two, and the GoPros. It was really good using so many GoPros and just trying to be creative with them. I really wanted to get the viewer to feel like they were part of the survey. So attaching them on the chest mounts while the team are taking the rays out of the nets was really, really good, and mounting them on the boat and just the wide angle stuff. So that was a lot of fun. But also the drones for the aerial stuff as well. That was my first time doing a shoot with the use of those, and just looking back on the footage, it was brilliant, because some of it is just, it looks fantastic. And Gareth and Lockie can take all the credit for that. I didn't pilot the drones, they did, and they did such a good job, because it looks spectacular, some of it. So I'd say, yeah, those two.
How are the fatigue levels, mate?
Knackered.
Only a few more.
I just slept for an hour.
Oh, lucky you.
So I'm a happy chappy now.
Lack of sleep. We went 3 days without sleep. And when I say 3 days without sleep, I don't mean 3 days with 2 or 3 hours each day here and there. I mean 3 days without sleep. So you start making very basic fundamental errors. And then you have to have the wherewithal to realise, put yourself back in a position that you don't have a chance, you don't have a second chance on a lot of these shots. So you're constantly, your brain is going, thinking, make sure your focus is right, make sure your exposure's right, frame the shot right. It's a high tempo environment in which you're shooting. So it's just mentally draining. Physically, it wasn't too bad. Physically, you can deal with that, but the mental aspects of it, in terms of the quality of what you're doing, unless you're really on top of things, will dip if you're tired. So it was being consciously aware that don't let the quality dip, regardless of the fact that you know you're not performing at 100% automatically. It's the effort that goes into performing at 100%. So it was just exhausting.
The night gone so far?
Well, a little bit up and down to begin with, I'd say. But first time working together, first time shooting nets, there was always going to be a little bit of a steep learning curve. Doesn't make it any easier in the dark.
I'm Pete Lucas. I'm a boat captain. I run a yacht here in Palma, Mallorca. We've been here for about 2 years now. Live out here with my wife and 2 kids, Chloe and Jago, 10 and 12. And I've been working in the yachting industry now for 16, 17 years. Now we have a bit of a project on our hands. We bought an old classic ex-fishing boat, and we're starting to turn it into a research vessel. The Bonnie Lass is a 1949 built wooden Scottish fishing boat. She was originally a ring netter. They'd work in pairs, and she was built on the east coast of Scotland in Kirkensey's Weatherhead. We bought her in January this year and brought her down across the Bay of Biscay and around Spain and Portugal through the Straits of Gibraltar.
Going down, so there's still going to be a bit of light when you enter the water, and then when you find the rays, that's when it's dark. So logistically, doing it tomorrow morning actually makes things a little bit easier, I think.
It's about 5 a.m. I'm standing outside the Port Authority building to sort of get ready. We're going to go do this morning dive now. Brad was meant to ring me when he was 20 minutes away. He hasn't. I'm assuming he's up and about. I know Chris is. He's been posting something on Facebook already, whinging about how early it is.
It's very, very dark. I never have seen something before that is so dark, but it's exciting. It's the first time I do this, and we will see what's going on.
Filming at night is something I really enjoy because it's such a challenge. To anyone that doesn't know, things look good and really detailed because of light. Light means detail, and if you have detail, it means that something looks good. And obviously at night, there's not much light, so therefore there's not much detail. And you can't judge what the human eye sees as being what the camera lens is going to see, because it will only let a certain amount of light in through the lens. So you're having to think, first of all, how do I, on a practical sense, what do you need to do? You need to open the lens up to let as much light in as possible, which creates issue with critical focus. It's much more difficult to focus when you have a very shallow depth of field, and that's fine if something is still and on a tripod, but if people are moving around, it's really difficult to keep that critical focus. You can also do things like, you can make the shot aesthetically really nice with the use of light, out of focus light in the background, creating what's called bokeh, which is the lovely big out of focus balls of light from the distance, which looks beautiful. So you have to think about how you're going to light something. And on a boat, you're thinking it's an onboard light, it's a small light, but you've got to get up close to the action. And you're thinking as well, from an aesthetic point of view, that you still want it to look nice. And in post-production, you have to deal with things like, with DSLR, shooting comes noise on everything. And at night, it's particularly bad. So you're thinking about, you have to go into it knowing with a very clear mind how you're going to shoot it, what the challenges are, and how you're going to overcome those challenges with the equipment that you actually have available. The thing with this film, I think with everything else generally, it's a labour of love, and it's a labour of love on the artistic side of making the film, but it's a labour of love for the project itself and the ideals of the people involved in the project. It's a story. The kind of emotional flow of it is structured in a way where it's up and then it's down and it's up, and it will take you through an emotional journey. And that if you do enjoy it, or if you do have questions about it, direct it, those questions. Feel free to contact me, feel free to contact Association Ondine, and if you want to somehow get involved or help in any way, please do so, because we all need your help in various ways. So I just want people to value the film for what it is and value the project for what it is, I think.